Recording in progress.
All right, everybody, time's 1:30 PM, and I call the September 10th, 2025 meeting of the Area Board of Zoning Appeals to order. We have 7 members present of a 7-member board. We're first going to ask for any public comment from those sitting in the chambers and then call on members attending remotely. If a member of the public attending remotely wishes to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting, they should indicate this by using the raise hand function in Zoom and/or by messaging the host in the chat function. Please clearly state your name and address for the record. Board members, please state your name when making a motion in a second. Lastly, please silence your cell phones before we do roll call. Petition 2 and number 3 have been tabled. So if you're here for that, you can go.
Mr. Tavernier?
Here.
Mr. Byers?
Here.
Dr. Lauk?
Here.
Mr. Velman?
Here.
Mr. Ritzma?
Here.
Mr. Roush?
Here.
Mr. Schaefer?
Here.
7 members present. Petition number 1, 56805 Oak Road, an unaddressed approximately 0.35 acre parcel abutting to the south. Owner Fernandez Armando Adan Bonilla. Variance number 1 from section 154.107 sub B to allow a lot width of 71 feet where a minimum of 100 feet is required for lot 1 of a proposed 2-lot subdivision. Variance number 2 from section 154.107 sub B to allow a lot width of 23 feet where a minimum of 100 feet is required for a lot 2 of a proposed 2-lot subdivision. Zoning, our single-family district, county.
Good afternoon, Faryal Sharif, Area Plan Commission staff. This is a residential lot in Portage Township in an area just south of State Road 2. The property consists of 2 parcels. One is a 0.94 acre parcel with an existing single-family home and a detached garage. Abutting to the south is a vacant 0.35 acre parcel in common ownership. That parcel is too small to be buildable by right or to really fit a home. The property owners would like to subdivide to create a new buildable lot with area to the rear of the existing home. The new lot would have 23 feet of frontage. Essentially, the access would be along the lines of the existing 0.35 acre parcel. They would also have to legalize the lot width of the parcel with the existing home. Staff recommends denial of the variances. This is the existing home on site. This is the south lot line, so where they're proposing the drive would go to the new lot. This is another view just from the other side of the road. This is north on Oak Road with the subject property to the right. This is the south view. The surrounding area is also single-family homes. Many of the surrounding lots have a similar length with areas to the rear. Additionally, there are homes that technically consist of 2 parcels like this one does. Generally, in cases like these in this area, the lots are just combined under one tax ID for one lot containing one home with additional yard space. This is the site plan. One of staff's concerns with this layout is that the reduced lot width may result in emergency responses having difficulty locating and accessing the property in the event of an emergency. So that would be our issue related to criteria number 1. As far as number 2, just looking at the aerial and the surrounding area, we find that the surrounding homes appear to be set back closer to the right-of-way than a home on lot 2 could be, so it would be inconsistent with the area to allow for another home to be built in the rear there. For practical difficulty, as I stated before, although the contiguous property does consist of 2 parcels, they could just combine them into one lot with additional yard space, as many of the adjacent properties are doing. There is no physical condition on the property that would warrant a subdivision or an additional buildable lot in this manner. For these reasons, we recommend denial. We have received 4 letters of remonstrance. All our neighbors that live on Oak Road. The first has concerns that the lot is not wide enough to accommodate 2 drives. Homes on Forest Street or to the rear would have a bird's eye view to the backyard. The home would be too close for those, even over a fence. They also have concerns that 2 septic fields wouldn't fit related to drainage, and that no other homes have this sort of setup now with either another driveway or an easement for rear access. The other letters note that the property in question is too narrow, already less than the 100-foot permitted by right. One person noted if they were to tear down the existing home and build a new one, that person would be okay with that. 3 of 4 also mentioned some nuisance material and many vehicles parked on the property. I will just note these may be a zoning violation or a code violation we could pursue, but it would be separate from the variance request. I can take any questions at this time.
Anybody got any questions? No? Thank you.
I have a question.
Hang on, we're not to the public yet.
Oh, okay.
Terry?
Terry Lang from the Whiteman office. Our address is 1402 Mishawaka Avenue and here in South Bend, representing the petitioner here. The Fernandez has 2 parcels that predate the zoning ordinance. I've heard the concerns from the letters that Fariel had read right there. There is sufficient cases where in the county that type of a setup has been made available for a second parcel to be created. Bobby Krakowski up on Douglas Road was a very similar case. It was set up in such a fashion so that a family member could build an adjacent home on a second parcel. This similar type of situation right here. We have 2 parcels, obviously both predate the zoning ordinance of 1966 for residential home lot sizes. And we have the existing home and garage buildings right there. There's sufficient space for the existing system, septic system, as well as a replacement system. Soil borings have been done on site to show that conditions are suitable per the health department standards for conventional in-ground septic system for that. Additional, you can see we've got shaded in 2 proposed possible septic locations depending upon where the house would be located on the rear parcel. Both of these new lot configurations do meet the required square footage requirements for a new lot. The front lot contains just over a ½ acre in size, and the rear lot contains about 3/4 of an acre in size. So the only variance that we're asking for is frontage. Otherwise, everything else would meet a standard lot size and compliance with regards to health department concern. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Is the rear lot bigger because of the drive that's gonna have to go on there? Is that why they took the space away from the front?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so a couple questions that I have, and you know, we're not a big fan of stacking houses here. How are we going to, aside from just a mailbox, how are we gonna make sure that this is accessible and visible and all of that to the first responders?
Mailbox can be placed on the side of the driveway on the north side. New driveway going in here, mailbox could be located on the south side of it. Side-by-side driveway locations are a recommendation usually by the county highway department now. So we would be in compliance with what they have been recommending in the past for avoiding conflict locations, and it has been done in the past.
This is for a family member?
I believe it is, yes.
Do you know the square footage of the house that they're thinking about putting back there?
At this point, no, I don't.
Terry, could you revisit what you said about predating the zoning ordinance, whatever? I mean, this isn't already 2 lots.
There are 2 parcels there that predate, the configuration predates the zoning ordinance.
And this was the shape of the parcels?
Those are the parcels that have been configured in that way. Now, whether they were created and split prior to that zoning ordinance change, that would take a title search to determine that.
Silly question on that. What is he gonna do about the driveway there being on the other parcel?
That would be eliminated right there. There'd be room for a turnaround to be placed for a two-point turnaround, kind of like a hammerhead. And then the new one would go in the location of where that bubble is to the south there.
Has that been pre-existing for more than 10 years?
Pardon?
Has a drive like that been pre-existing for more than 10 years?
It's been there for quite a while, yes.
So that's up to the owner. Yeah.
Right.
Joe, you got anything?
Terry, can you, just real quick for my recollection of rehashing the practical difficulty?
The practical difficulty at this point is we have two parcels, and we're reconfiguring two parcels that are closer in compliance with the zoning ordinance with regards to that. The only item is the frontage that is the concern with regards to it. Frontage variances are granted frequently here. I'm here every month, and I see them every time I'm here, so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? All right, thanks, Terry. All right, we'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody who'd like to speak in favor of the petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Seeing none. Is there anybody who'd like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. I need your name and address, and you got 3 minutes.
My name is Mike Lentich. I live at 56825 Oak Road. I'll sit right there next to the lot where that turnaround driveway is. That strip of land that they're talking about used to belong to me. The house next door belonged to my uncle. And I sold him that so he could put that driveway there. He never joined those two properties together because he knows that we had a water problem. My home sits in a gully, and the water was coming towards in the winters used to be a lot heavier. And then when there's no place now, he pushes the snow, it's gonna end up melting and being in my basement. I've had water problems already, and I had a swale built when I put the addition onto the house so to help out, but it still fills with water. I've lived there for 50 years, and when I was a kid, I used to ice skate on that lot next to that building. And Jim, my neighbor over there, will tell you, his yard sits high. George's yard, that was my uncle, sits high, and I get stuck in the middle of that. But George went ahead and put a sidewalk along the house, and in the wintertime, he took the snow and pushed it straight back and pushed that snow on the other side where he's talking about the hammerhead. Okay, you've got, I think, 400 feet of driveway that they're talking about. And that land back there is not solid. I owned a semi once, and we tried to turn it around back there. That sucker mired in. It cost me $450 to get it out. I'm 72 years old. I was 30 years old then, and that was a mistake learned. I couldn't see a fire truck going down there and being stuck in there trying to put out a fire. It's a bad choice. That place looks nice because my uncle and the family, that was all family land there at one time, all those acreages, and they took the trees out. When I was a kid, I couldn't walk back there. It was all full of brush and briars. And they took that land and they drug it with drags and tractors, and that's why it's flat and the way it looks back there today.
You got 30 seconds.
Pardon?
30 seconds.
Yeah, anyways, it'll do damage to my home. And it will not look good aesthetically I don't think it'll help the values of anybody's home. And from their portion of it, those people have no face. They haven't lived in that home since they bought it. All they've done, they've parked as many as 24 cars over there. They keep bringing them in, moving them back and forth. They're there in the middle of the night. They set my security alarms off at 12 o'clock at night. Anyways, I'm done.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Thank you. So I'm against it.
Appreciate that. Anybody else that would like to speak against?
Yes, I would.
Hold on, we'll get to Zoom, sir. We'll get there. Name and address, and you got 3 minutes.
Hi, my name's Mike Long. I own the property at 24050 Ford Street. My property is the one right next to Mr. Bonella's property. My concern is that this added house will worsen the flooding in my basement also. You know, we've had water problems, and I just don't need any more problems. My next problem is gonna be them driving through my yard, over my leach field. All these cars they're bringing in, they're driving through my yard. I've got pictures if anybody wants to see it, but they come in through the front and make like turns right across my leach field to park all their vehicles. I bring them in on trailers, they drive them in, they're damaged, leaking, I guess it's polluting the groundwater, I don't know. But 25 cars parked there. And I see all these ruts in my yard, driving across my leach field. You know, I can't afford to put up a fence. I can't afford to replace my leach field. So I am against this petition.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak against this petition? Name and address, and you got 3 minutes, please.
56857
Hold. Yeah.
My address is 56857 Oak Road. I live 1 block south of where Mark lives.
What's your name, sir?
James Spychowski.
Thank you.
And we enjoy, I've been there for 30 years, and I enjoy the neighborhood the way it is now. And we sit on our deck at night, and I know I'm tired of seeing these people going in and out of that driveway. You don't know what's really going on late at night, whether they're trafficking or dropping off automobiles in that driveway. So I don't think they need another driveway there, and I'm against it.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am? Name and address, and you got 3 minutes.
My name is Barbara Szymanski, 56786 Oak Road. I live like across the street, a little catty corner from them. I lived on that road my whole life, and I'm 83 years old. I do not want my wonderful neighborhood trashed, and that's just what they're doing. Everything that these neighbors said is true. There is nobody living in that house. All they do is bring in cars during the day and during the night, and I just don't want to trash it, and I don't believe anything that this gentleman said that they are going to do. I don't believe anything they're going to say because they don't care about our neighborhood. All they want to do is trash it, and I live in a nice neighborhood. That's it. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am?
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Ann Grochowalski. I live at 56695 Fairmont, which my house is located where I can see the back of his house, like that, it's off of Oak Road. I have to go down Ford Road.
You can pull that down if you need to.
I'm loud.
That's all right.
That's what I'm, anyway, I noticed right away, of course, our neighborhood, when they bought the house, they had put children's, like toys, plastic toys in the front yard. Now they're in the back. So I don't believe anything that he's going to say, because to me, that is nothing but cars. It's like, and he doesn't even know who's going to live there. It's trash, and right now, today, I counted 21 cars. I believe that they're going to do something with this lot. We don't know. And let me look at my notes a minute. I just don't believe them, and I think they're going to, they tried to fool us pretending that they were going to buy this house and have a family, like I said, but it never happened. And if somebody lives there, I'm surprised. And if they do now, because they want the appeal to go through. And so I disagree with this at all, because I don't like, my neighborhood is fine, and I hope you never have to see 21 cars, which I counted this morning before I came. So I figure that's what they want to do, something with the cars. Either they're going to set something up, I just don't trust them. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. See none. Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to speak against this petition?
Yes, I would, please.
Name and address, please, and you
My
got 3
name is
minutes.
Dave. My name is Dave Wesolowski. I live at 56956 Oak Road, and I'm opposed to this because I don't trust these people. I've been driving by here. I've lived in this neighborhood since 1971. It was designed for World War II veterans to have a place to live. And we've enjoyed it, right along. And I see these cars lined up. I don't understand that. It's out of control. I don't trust them at all. And I'm opposed to it. And I want you guys to know that this neighborhood wasn't designed for this kind of a thing.
Thanks, sir. Is there anybody else that would like to speak against this petition on Zoom? Please use the raise hand function.
Sure.
Name and address, and you got 3 minutes.
Brian Brennan, 56750 Fairmont Avenue. I can see this lot from my house very easy. And I agree with pretty much everything everybody said. I was in the car business for a long time, and I'm pretty sure all these cars are coming from a car lot on Western Avenue. I'm about 99% sure that they're all repossessions. I mean, I could be off by a car or two, but I was in the business, and when they come and go like that, it's more or less they've probably been repoed, I'm guessing. And they've been over there. I've seen them have cookouts and stuff, but like everybody says, there's not a face to this house. Nobody lives there. You can't, you want to go over there and say, hey, you guys are shining my lights in the middle of the night. What's going on over here? You can't, because nobody lives there. And it's pretty much, a commercial repo lot is what it's a junkyard for, most places they take them to a tow truck yard or something like that, a repossession yard. And that's pretty much what we have over here is a repossession yard. And, you probably have different people coming in. More than likely, you got different repo guys. I'm not really sure how it works. I haven't really seen them bring them in that much. But I just see that, there's new ones, old ones, they're coming in and out all the time. And he's just running. It's been a commercial business property since they bought it. I mean, it pretty much happened immediately. And which is it's really disrespectful to this neighborhood. We have a quiet neighborhood here. We got a school. There's kids. There's people walk down the middle of our streets out here because, it's very quiet. And, there's just a lot of added traffic. And, I've seen the water situations with the neighbors. I've lived here for almost probably 30 years, I'm guessing. And I know the water problems they have, which I, would be in total agreement with that because they can say whatever might work. But they don't even know how big of a house they're trying to put back there. So you got to have, I think the field systems are designed by the square footage of the house. I do believe so. I mean, I would think that would limit it so that you would think that they would know that question of how big a house is going to be. But it would stick out like a sore thumb, after living here 30 years. The cars, I mean, they're just cars, but, they're probably leaking. Okay, the cars are probably leaking, repossessed cars. People that have cars repossessed usually don't have a whole lot of money. So the cars are usually, a lot of times they're broke down. They got antifreeze leak, oil leak, this and that. You never know. Cars, they don't last forever. And they have problems. And when you bring them and you just stack them up here, we all have well water. We all drink from this water.
10 seconds.
It just, I don't, adding to that, I just don't think would be a good idea for the neighborhood whatsoever.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak against this petition? Seeing none, public portion is now closed. Terry?
Good job.
To address the concern about the suitable size for septic, so I'll answer that question first. The size systems that you see on the lot there that are shown are suitably sized for a 3-bedroom home. So those meet the health department requirements. I've heard a lot of talk about concerns with regards to, 20-some vehicles parked there. You saw it on the aerial map. I would suggest that the residents that have concerns contact the St. Joe County code enforcement. There are, if it's being run as a business, that is not appropriate in the residential zoning area right there. I can't vouch that it's a place where they're storing cars for, repos or anything like that. You can see cars parked on the aerial that's shown right there with regards to it. If it's being run as a business operation, it's inappropriately being used then because it's zoned residential, and that's part of going through code enforcement to be able to enforce that. Years ago, there was no code enforcement. There is now, and you can contact them through the Area Planning Commission office. They have members on their team that strictly do that code enforcement violations. And it might be a way for them to get rid of the nuisance if it is a nuisance in the neighborhood. What I'm doing is proposing it as a residential, and their concerns are valid concerns, but it's not with regards to what I'm proposing for the residential type use. And I've given them an alternative of what they can do to maybe resolve that neighborhood concern.
So I got a couple questions about some of the concerns that some of the other people have had. The water seems to be a major issue, right?
I heard some drainage questions. I haven't done topography on the entire neighborhood. The soil conditions that were taken as samples for the soil borings for the septic system have indicated, soils that would support a septic system without being a special type system. So if there are homes that are built lower than adjacent homes, I can't solve problems on somebody else's property, but the concerns that we're here for is for the residential use of the property on lots that are sized for the zoning ordinance. The variances we're only asking for are the frontage.
But, can I ask? The concern was, if this new home is put on there, does that add more problems? And hearing you mention, I didn't kind of hear that addressment.
The concerns, obviously, and DJ can vouch for this, that when you build a new home, new homes are usually built up just a foot and a half above the existing ground. It's sloped away from the house onto the property to the rear, to the front of the homes, and that would be a standard practice here. If I drove out and looked at the homes in the neighborhood, I could probably make recommendations for water concerns if they had them. But I know in a lot of cases when homes were being built for troops coming back after the war, the western neighborhood out there, it was let's put up as many homes as we can, as fast as we can, and there was no concern for grade around the house. Where does stormwater go off the gutters? And a lot of that drains into people's basements. And a lot of those basements now are 75, 80 years old, and the concrete blocks are cracked, and you're getting seepage in that way.
Terry, am I reading the plan correctly that the proposed areas for the septic system and the set aside for the eventual second septic system are on the other lot?
No, both of them, there are two systems on each of the lots. They're
Okay.
both drawn there.
Okay, so the one that's drawn on lot one would be for the existing house,
Reserved for the
Right.
for the existing, okay.
Existing
all right.
systems here, a
right.
reserve area is here, and then I've got two areas shown there where the very first system can go in.
Neither of them
and
said
it-
existing, so I wasn't sure. Yeah, okay.
Okay, and one other thing to notice, you know, in doing a quick review of the aerial map for the Area Planning Commission's map for the GIS system, there are approximately 25 homes in that same area that are on lots that are smaller than the half acre that we're proposing for even our smallest lot. So we're not putting, 10 pounds of house in a 5-pound lot here. So, when you look at the smaller lots here and smaller lots here, there are lots that size. And like I say, concerns with, the water and things like that. I know how those houses were put up back when Colport Realty was building all the homes on the west side out there, and it was, we've got, 10,000 troops coming home, we need to have 10,000 houses put up in 6 months. And they were concrete block foundations, and those are old now. So, it's something that, we're gonna be following the guidelines by today's building standards, and that's all I have to say.
Does anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for Terry. I'm guessing since it was conventional septic you can put in, it must be sand ground, basically?
Yes,
So, and it is not a wetlands,
nope.
because it would
In
have
fact,
been.
that was one of the things we have to do when we create the site plan. Are there any designated environmental wetland hazards to be concerned with? And there weren't any for this.
And you say that the lot was predated 66, I believe you specified.
That's when that neighborhood was all, those
Okay.
parcels were
When was
created.
that lot actually separated off?
That I couldn't tell you without doing a title search on it, when that lot would have been split off. From the neighbors that were indicating that, that was their uncles and all family people. They were indicating that, they've lived there 50 and 60 years. So we're talking that same time period that I'm talking about that predates the zoning ordinance.
But it was pre 20-acre rule.
Well, this is residentially zoned, so we don't have to be concerned with the 20-acre rule.
Right.
The zoning ordinance went into effect in the 60s. A lot of the homes in the area out there were built in the 40s and early 50s.
And that lot was a lot back then.
It was probably multiple parcels there, and with them splitting and divvying them up however they want to, they could, because it wasn't a requirement of going through the plating process, and the zoning at that time was not a concern.
All right, does anybody else got anything? No? Thanks, Terry.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Public portion's closed, sorry. You guys got anything else, or I'll take a motion?
Mr. Chairman, while I agree with Mr. Langdon, there's a lot, looking at the way this whole area is platted, a lot of unique lot lines, small, large, square, rectangular, they're all over the place. I've always, in my factor, a house behind a house has always been a safety issue for me that I just don't agree with. I think it has implications that we can't even fathom on what that could look like. So I would make a motion to deny the variance as requested.
Dr. Lauk, second.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzma?
Yes.
Mr. Roush?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
No.
Mr. Velman?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier?
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, after careful consideration, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals denies the variance and will issue written findings of effects. Again, petition 2 and 3 has been tabled, so we're on to 4.
Petition number 4, plus or minus 2.99 acre parcel abutting 13091 Tyler Road to the west and south. Owner, Walnut Grove Amish School.
Sir?
Requested action, variance number 1 from section 154.335 to not provide off-street parking area landscape screening between a parking area and a side east lot line abutting a residential use. Variance number 2 from section 154.419 sub B to allow an off-street parking area and interior access drive with a gravel surface where a hard surface is required. Variance number 3 from section 154.419 sub A 3B to not provide the required raised curb or wheel stops in an off-street parking area. And variance number 4 from section 154.419 sub A3A to not provide painted lines or raised curbs to indicate individual spaces in an off-street parking area. Zoning A Agricultural District, County.
Hello, Adia Smith with the Area Plan Commission staff. The petitioner is seeking 4 variances for a roughly 2.99 acre parcel of cultivated farmland located south and west of 13091 Tyler Road in the Agricultural District to develop a school serving the Amish community. Staff is recommending approval for the variance requested. Due to the future use of alternate forms of transportation, the petitioner is seeking a variance for the required hard surface drive, painted markings, and Parker bumpers to permit a gravel surface drive that would be more accommodating for horse and buggy traffic. This is the southwest corner of the parcel where the drive and parking area will be located. Looking towards Dogwood Road, there is a proposed 2-acre field area and the existing 55-foot windbreak of maturing trees along the west property line of 13091 Tyler Road. Therefore, the petitioner is seeking a variance from the required parking area screening of shrub and hedge plants along the edge of the parking area and the eastern side lot line abutting the residential use. This is looking towards Elm Road. The density of the existing 55-foot of maturing trees along the Tyler Road property line, staff finds that the proposed layout would not be out of character with the surrounding area, and the existing vegetation could offer screening to the parking area. This is the site plan. The petitioners intend to provide landscaping between the parking area and the front property line. As such, the variance request only pertains to the landscaping screening between the parking area and the east property line. Looking at state criteria 1, the approval of the variance would not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare. Given the location of the school and the surrounding land use, both staff and the county engineer have no issue with the gravel drive, which allows for the continued use of horse and buggy transportation. Also, the approval of the parking area screening variance would not be injurious. Therefore, the variance should have no impact on the public health or morals, given the substantial distance and existing landscaping between the parking areas, eastern lot line, and the abutting property. Looking at state criteria 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property would not be affected in a substantial adverse manner, as the only property that the 4 variances could visually impact is the residential property 750 feet east of the school. However, the impact would be minimal, as there is a proposed 2-acre field area, an additional 9-acre farm field north and east of the school parcel, and the 55-foot windbreak of maturing trees between the residential property and the parking area. Lastly, looking at state criteria 3, for variance 1, strict application of the terms of this chapter would result in practical difficulties, as it would compel the planting and maintenance of a row of shrubs, which would not be beneficial to the neighboring residential use, given the distance between the parking area and the eastern lot line. The strict application of the terms of this chapter would result in practical difficulties for variance 2, which is to allow the gravel surface where the hard surface is required, given the negative impacts of horse and buggy traffic on hard surface drives. As the provisions and maintenance of the parking bumpers and painted lines become less feasible on gravel surfaces, the strict application of these standards would likewise result in practical difficulties justifying variance requests 3 and 4. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the development variance positions and be happy to take any questions.
Questions? Terry?
Terry Lang from the Whiteman office. Our address is 1402 Mishawaka Avenue here in South Bend. I represent the petitioners here, the Amish school. We've worked very closely with the adjacent property owner whose house sits over here. That large stand of trees was planted as a windbreak years ago. The area where we're showing the school to be located up in that northwesterly corner is the high spot on the property. Property slopes from west to east. The playground areas are set up in a fashion so that they'll drain toward the easterly edge. There is a farm tile that runs right along that easterly property line right there that will be used as a overflow for our retention areas. The variances that we're asking for are for the unique vehicles that the Amish community uses. About 10 years ago, when they were talking about making an amendment to the zoning ordinance and changes, I had sat down with Abby and had mentioned to her that the Madison South Penn Township area has an increasing number of Amish residents moving into the area, and they're going to need to make some accommodations for their type of vehicle use, how far they can travel, and things like that. And the variances that we're asking here are basically, you know, we don't have vehicles that need a car bump stop. We're driving a horse and buggy. If you go by an Amish school in the township immediately to the east of here, you'll find that there are no vehicles and 50 bicycles parked out there. So we're kind of designing with what is used in their past on creating other school sites. And the variances that we're asking for are for that purpose.
Okay. Any questions? No? All right, thank you. We'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Seeing none. Is there only 3 people on? 4? Okay. Seeing none. Is there anybody who would like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Seeing none. Public portion is now closed. You guys got anything else, or I'll take a motion?
Dr. Lauk, I make a motion to approve the variance as presented by staff.
Lance Roush, second.
All three variances,
All of them.
right?
Mhm. Variances.
A motion to approve all 4 variances.
Yes, you want me to restate?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Lauk, I make a motion to approve all 4 variances as presented by staff.
Lance Roush, second.
Thank you.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Velman?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzma?
Yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Roush?
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier?
Yes, based on the testimony presented here today, after careful consideration, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals grants your variances and will issue written findings of the facts. Thank you.
Petition number 521750 Jackson Road. Owner Benjamin Lerman and Tyler Barton requested action, conditional use. Per section 154.071 sub I, conditional use for temporary dwelling unit for a caregiver for a period not to exceed 3 years. Zoning R single family district, county.
Adia Smith, Area Plan Commission staff. This is a conditional use request in the R Single Family District for a temporary dwelling of a care receiver. Here's a more recent depiction of the properties on site. The St. Joseph County zoning ordinance allows for a temporary dwelling of a caregiver or receiver as a conditional use for a period not exceeding 3 years for an occupant who receives weekly assistance from the occupants of the primary dwelling. The required certification forms of a medical doctor stating the need and frequency of assistance has been provided in this case. We are recommending that the conditional use be granted. Here's a close-up of the primary dwelling. This is looking west towards Myrtle Road. This is looking east towards Locust Road. This is the adjacent property. This conditional use would allow property owners to convert the existing roughly 700 square foot building with connected water, electricity, and septic systems into a temporary dwelling for a care receiver. Looking at state criteria 1 for conditional uses, allowing the required regular care to live in close proximity to a caregiver in compliance with the development standards provided in section 154.071I1, serves the public welfare and convenience. Looking at state criteria 2, the existing structure intended to be temporary dwelling is compatible with the immediate area. The structure complies with the required minimum setback, including the required 8-foot side and rear setbacks. Looking at state criteria 3, the structure already contains a bathroom, which is adequately served by on-site septic and well. Therefore, the health department has no objections to the establishment of a temporary dwelling within the structure. The existing driveway is adequate for a limited increase in ingress and egress needs that may result from the second dwelling unit. No additional structures or hard surfaces are being proposed, and therefore approval would have no impact on drainage. Looking at state criteria 4, since the use of the dwelling is restricted to a specific individual for a limited time period, it is not in serious conflict of the housing and neighborhoods policies serving goal 3 to ensure new housing has adequate access to water and waste management facilities of the 2024 comprehensive plan. Lastly, looking at state criteria 5, this residential use is restricted to a specific individual for a limited time period. It will not pose any serious long-term risk to the residential value of the surrounding area. Therefore, staff recommends approval of this conditional use petition and would be happy to take any questions.
Questions?
Just, when we've had these conditional uses before us previously, it's always been a truly temporary structure, a fifth wheel trailer, a mobile home, or something that's carted in, can be carted out. This is not, I understand it's a temporary dwelling inside of a permanent building. How do we ascertain after 3 years that it's not still in use?
All right, so we would keep track of the 3 years. After 3 years, if they decide that they still need that, they can come back before you and renew it. Or we would ask them to kind of remove whatever it is that is meeting the definition of a dwelling unit, whether that be the kitchen or the bedroom or whatever it is. We could probably send them a notice when they're close to that deadline and work with them on that.
I guess, yeah, what stipulates that it's actually a dwelling unit? Because it's already got a bathroom.
A bathroom, a bedroom, and a kitchen.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood.
Petitioner? I need your name and address, and you
My
got 10
name
minutes.
is Tyler Barton. My address is 21750 Jackson Road, South Bend. Yeah, the building already exists, the plumbing already exists, the well already exists. We're just simply basically looking to add a bedroom and a kitchen into the space so that my father, who is currently living with us, can have his own space outside of my house. And yeah, that's it. So we are interested in like long-term, you know, the building was actually built with the intention of maybe eventually adding something like this through like a planned unit development or some other thing. Health and life do not always go the way as intended, and so this has become a more immediate consideration for us, and that's why I'm here.
Okay. You guys got any questions? No? Perfect. Thanks, sir. We'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Oh, you do want to speak. All right. Sorry.
Quick.
He saw the crowd.
Yeah.
Thank you for having this hearing today. So my name is Julianne Stewart Heaney, and my residence is 60145 Locust Road. So Tyler and I are neighbors, along with Ben, and I just came to affirm their application today. Having been a caregiver of someone who eventually did die, I just realize how important it is to have that person close to be able to oversee their care on a daily basis. So I think it's a very honorable request that they've made today, and I fully support that. You have addressed, Mr. Veltman, though a question I did have was that at the end of 3 years, what happens at that time? So thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, any on Zoom? Seeing none, is there anyone that would like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, any on Zoom? Seeing none, public portion is now closed. You guys got anything else, or I'll take a motion?
Tom Byers, my motion is to approve the conditional use based on the conditions set forth in the staff report.
Dr. Lauk, second.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Ritzma?
Yes.
Mr. Roush?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Velman?
Yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier?
Got it, Shelley, yes. Based on the testimony presented here today, after careful consideration, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals grants your conditional use and will issue written findings of the facts. Thank you.
Petition number 6, location 23146 Ireland Road, an unaddressed plus or minus .94 acre abutting parcel to the south. Owner, George T. and Janet L. Podell. Requested action, variance number 1 from section 154.212, sub B, to allow a 23-foot front yard west setback where 50 feet is required for an existing industrial building. And variance number 2 from section 154.212, sub C 1B, to allow a 2-foot front yard west setback where 15 feet is required for an off-street parking area. Zoning I Industrial District, County.
All right, big crowd left. Far Sharif Area Plan Commission staff, this is the property south of Ireland Road, southeast of State Road 23 in Green Township. In an area with industrial zoning, a minor subdivision has been filed for this property that would reconfigure the lot so that the petitioner's operations are contained on one large lot and a smaller vacant lot would be created in the southwest corner for a new user. In order for the subdivision to be approved, existing deficiencies on the lot must be addressed. In this case, they're requesting a variance for those, which are that the west side of the main industrial building is not meeting a 50-foot setback from Market Street, and that the parking area along the same west side area is also not meeting the required 15-foot setback. Staff is recommending approval of these variances. This is the existing building that is not meeting the setback. This is looking on Market Street. This portion of Market Street is a dead-end street, which only provides access to abutting industrial properties. This is the parking area in question. This is the property directly across on Market Street. It's likely that this property is also not meeting the 50-foot front setback and appears to have parking and storage areas close to the front lot lines on Market. This is the site plan provided by the petitioner. It shows the existing setback for the building and the parking area. Looking at state law criteria, we find the approval is unlikely to affect the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare, as it's unlikely the general public would be traveling on this portion of Market Street. The approval is unlikely to affect the use and value in an adverse manner, as the area is exclusively industrial with other properties that may also not be meeting the standards exactly. Finally, strict application would compel the property owner to demolish an existing building and parking lot which would limit the permitted area of future industrial use simply to allow the property to be subdivided in a manner that's otherwise reasonable. For these reasons, we recommend approval and can take any questions.
Questions?
So with the site plan as submitted, it shows a lot 2 of a .23 acres.
Yeah, they want to carve off that southwest corner for a future industrial user.
Is .23 acres capable of sustaining any type of building with applicable car parking and all that kind of stuff?
I think the petitioner can speak more to what they plan to put on that parcel. I think they're just going to put a tower up there, like a telecommunications tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
But by creating that lot, are we creating something buildable that would require multiple variances because of the size and determination of what I see as nothing can be done with this lot?
That lot actually does meet our standards for the industrial district.
That's what I
Yeah.
want to make sure. Thank you. Sir?
Good afternoon, Andy Heltzel with Dan Charner and Associates, 1643 Commerce Drive in South Bend, representing the petitioners. My points are similar to what Fariel mentioned. That building has existed on that lot at least since 1965, which is when it showed up on the property record card. At the current setback, we're actually exceeding the setback to the north right-of-way line, so visibility shouldn't be a concern coming out onto Ireland Road. Parking has existed since at least the year 2000, looking back at aerials at those locations, so it's not like we're adding any new parking, just asking to stay consistent with parking also along Market Street. That's all I have. Oh, to answer your question on that lot 2, there is a proposed tower to be located there. There's no proposed variances at this time, so planning to adhere to zoning ordinance requirements.
I'll hold you to that.
So really, it's just the subdividing or selling off that lot 2 that triggered all of these things now because of the current rules? Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. Any questions? No? Let's go. All right. Is there anybody who would like to speak? We'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Seeing none. Is there anybody who would like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom? Seeing none, public portion is now closed. Guys got anything else, or I'll take a motion?
Dr. Lauk, I make a motion to approve variance 1 and 2 as presented by staff.
Joe Velleman, I second.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzma?
Yes.
Mr. Roush?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Velleman?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier?
Yes. Based on the testimony presented here today, after careful consideration, Area Board of Zoning Appeals grants your variances and will issue written findings of the facts. Thank you. All right.
Number 7, location 60205 Main Street. Owner Dominic Archuleta. Requested action. An administrative appeal of a citation for a zoning ordinance violation of section 154.620 sub G1, the failure to comply with the terms, provisions, conditions, or commitments of a variance grant, special use grant, or conditional use grant. Specifically, the failure to remove a portion of a 8-foot solid fence located beyond the front line of the primary structure. Per the conditions of a variance granted by the Area Board of Zoning Appeals on December 8th, 2021, as issued by the enforcement official on February 12th, 2025. Zoning R single family district, county.
So, Brandy Ecker, legal counsel for the BZA. Before we start, just checking, there's nobody in the room, and Mr. Archuleta is not on Zoom, is that correct? Okay. That being said, under normal circumstances, that would result in the board having under its rules the option to dismiss or to table the petition. However, in this particular case, in addition to its unusual nature being an administrative appeal, it is also unusual in that the appellant has made a request under the FHA and ADA for reasonable accommodations due to health issues that have resulted in a reasonable accommodation from your rules to allow his petition to be heard essentially as a paper appeal at this point. The various things that he has written and sent into the BZA are included in your packet, minus his personal health information. And he has also been submitted previous to this, a list of 5 questions by the staff that he provided written responses to that Shelley will read into the record once the staff report is done. So does anybody have any questions about that? Okay.
Good.
All right.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Counselor? So we go through all this, are we going to be able to vote?
You are going to be able to vote, yes.
Okay, thank you.
He repeatedly made this request that this be how you hear it.
Okay.
So it can be heard this way. He has stated this is how he wants it, so.
Thank you.
All right, as Brandy explained, this is an administrative appeal of a citation of a zoning ordinance violation. Just to be clear, we are not appealing his fence. We are appealing the citation for noncompliance of, yes, sorry, the appellant is appealing the violation or the citation that we issued. So in your packets is a full summary of the events regarding this appeal. Overall, county zoning enforcement officials followed ordinance requirements and procedures to provide multiple written zoning ordinance violation notice warnings and citations via certified mail for a privacy fence that was too tall. I will go over the highlights of the timeline. In 2021, the property owner did apply for a variance to legalize the taller fence, an 8-foot fence. The minutes of that meeting from December 8th, 2021 can be found in your packet. The board granted it on the condition that the fence is brought in line with the front line of the primary structure and denied the variance for the taller front yard portion. The property owner was given time to bring the fence into compliance with the BZA ruling. Violation notices were sent out when the property was not brought into compliance. Over this time period, emails were exchanged between the owner and staff, or the fence contractor, or the petitioner's legal counsel and staff, which alleged the fence would be brought into compliance. However, due to continued noncompliance, citations were issued beginning in, I believe, June of 2024. The appeal today is on the citation, as I stated. And then I'll just go through, these are pictures of the property currently. So the portion of the fence that's sticking out in front of the house, that's the portion that the BZA did not approve. So he would have had to bring it back basically in line with the house. He still can have the fence around the rest of the property. At their request, we have drafted some questions for the property owner prior to the hearing, and they have sent back responses to these in lieu of their presentation. If you can pass these out to them, and then I'll have Shelley read those into the record now.
Question number 1, has the 8-foot portion of fence located in front of the front line of the primary structure been removed as of the date of this hearing? Response, no. The 8-foot portion of the fence remains in place. It is a standard privacy fence installed to protect my family, home, and property, particularly due to surrounding crime and the proximity of multiple registered sex offenders. The fence was professionally installed by Lowe's Home Improvement after I purchased the materials directly from their store. Question number 2, if it has not, have current arrangements been made to remove this portion of the fence? Response, no. I have no intention of removing the fence. There may have been a miscommunication or misunderstanding regarding any prior statements or emails. If any email or message gave the impression that I plan to remove the fence, I clarify now that I did not intend to convey that. I maintain that the fence is necessary for the security and privacy of my family and is not a traffic or safety hazard. Question number 3. Per email from you dated August 25th, 2023, and your counsel on September 1st, 2023, the fence was to be brought into compliance as part of the rebuild to the home as a result of a November 2022 fire. Why was the fence not brought into compliance at the time of the rebuild? Response. First, to clarify, the fence was not included in the actual fire-related rebuild scope, nor was it identified as a compliance issued by any inspector during reconstruction. I also did not receive any formal direction at that time to remove or modify the fence. Any statements made by me or a prior representative may have been intended as good faith intent to resolve the matters. Once I had clarity on the rezoning requirements. However, medical hardships and confusion about what the county was asking caused delays. The current location of the fence reflects what I believe to be compliant based on the professional installers and survey provided. Question number 4. On an email dated December 20th, 2023, you claimed a contractor would be taking down the portion of the fence in the first week of January 2024. What was the reason for it not to be completed at this time? Response. Again, if I stated that a contractor was scheduled to remove the fence, it may have been a tentative plan made before I fully understood the legal and safety importance of maintaining the fence as is. Due to this health complications and financial constraints from the 2022 fire and ongoing medical bills, I was unable to authorize or proceed with fence removal, which is relieved due to criminal and safety hazards that is next and near my home and family and child. Question number 5. The ruling made by the BZA on December 8th, 2021 is not eligible for appeal. Given this, please elaborate on why you believe the citation issued on February 12th, 2025 was procedurally defiant, excuse me. Response, I am not appealing the 2021 variance ruling itself. I am appealing the February 2025 enforcement citation, which I believe was issued without fair due process. Specifically, I was out of the country with my daughter, family, when the citation was issued and could not respond in time. Prior appeals and communications were not fully addressed by the county. The citation disregarded previous submissions, prior good faith efforts, and the actual safety necessity of the fence. The ongoing enforcement, including repeated letters while I was out of the country in now medical situation, appears to be harassing in nature and falls to account for legitimate hardship and disability. Therefore, the appeal is based on procedural fairness, lack of due notice, and the need to accommodate both my medical condition and properly safety and protection concerns. Thank you for consideration. Sincerely, Dominic D. Archuleta, May 2, 2025.
Sorry, I was reading some other stuff in there. So, I want to. These are the questions that staff.
Yes, those are the questions that staff formulated to try to get Mr. Archuleta to lay out the basis of his appeal.
1, 2, and 5 are the only ones that matter. He was told what to do and didn't do it.
He asked for 5 questions, so
Yeah.
come up with 5.
Okay. He's not driving the bus. So, How many citations, how many fines has this guy paid?
He has not paid any. The one that he's appealing was the 4th citation. They are cumulative, so it was for $500 at that point.
Because they go up each time, right?
Right,
Okay. And he hasn't paid any of them.
no.
So what are we doing about that?
He's appealing it.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
we're doing right now.
He's appealing the last
Well,
one.
while there's an appeal on file, we can't really continue with enforcement actions. The way that zoning enforcement generally works is once the fines reach a certain amount that makes it worth the county's while for my time, then
To file a lien?
no, you can't just file a lien for zoning enforcement. They have to send it to me or another attorney working for the county, and then we have to sue them.
And just to clarify, sorry, the cumulative fine at that point was $850.
So I want to stay on track here,
Yeah.
right?
Sounds good.
What we're doing right now is voting on,
We have the public hearing first, but yes, essentially the actions that you all are faced with is an administrative appeal of this particular citation. And you get to decide whether you're going to affirm the citation, whether you are going to reverse it, or somehow modify it in some fashion that you might find to be appropriate. But what you are not doing is determining whether or not he should be allowed to have a fence there if the ordinance says that he shouldn't. That was what the subject of the variance that was denied in part and granted in part was. You are faced with a situation where he believes he's being enforced against unfairly.
so affirming, denying, or altering the
The citation,
citation.
yes.
That's the direction and the course that I want to stay on here,
Okay.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, you got any questions?
Yeah, because I wasn't a part of this, I just want to make sure I understand the timeline. So this board voted in December of 2021 to deny the variances requested.
You affirmed, you granted one variance and denied another one.
Okay.
There were 2 variances that were requested. One of them was to be able to have the fence at 8 feet essentially in the front yard. And one of them was to be able to have it where 6 foot would have been allowed, and he wanted to keep it at 8 feet. And the having it in the front yard was denied, and having it where 6 foot would be allowed was upheld, which essentially put it at the line of the house.
Perfect, okay, understand that. And it appears by this timeline that he received his first violation warning April 27th of 2022. Because it says violation warning via certified mail is issued for not being brought in compliance. So after he was denied the portion of the variance that needed to be rectified in December, he received his first violation effectively 5 months after that.
So you're asking why it took so long?
No, I'm just asking, I'm
You just
clarifying the
confirming?
timeline.
Yes, that's right.
So he received his first violation. He knew he was out of compliance when he only received the one variance, and he received a violation in 2022 for the first time, correct?
That's correct.
But he's appealing the violation he received 3 years later in
Well,
2025.
yeah, the first one that he received is actually just a violation warning. It's
Okay.
not actually a citation.
But he was made aware that he's still not in compliance at that time.
Yes, just so you understand the way that the zoning ordinance works for violation notices and citations, there has to be 2 violation notices before you can start issuing fines.
I'm understand that. I just want to make sure I understood. He knew he was out of violation, frankly, right after this hearing in December 2021, and again, multiple times in 2022. And then it's culminated into a final one in 2024 that he's now appealing.
Assuming he's been reading his mail, yes.
Understood. Thank you.
If I recall right on that, when we did this, wasn't it determined he didn't even have it on his own property, it's in the right of way?
I don't think,
Doesn't really matter.
I don't think that really
No, it
was
doesn't.
an issue.
Not for this, not for voting on
This is
here.
just
it
the
doesn't matter.
citation.
Oh, well,
We're just worried about
Strictly the
citation.
citation.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no more questions? No, all right, we'll open this up to the public. Is there any, wait, petitioner's not here, so we're moving forward to public
Yes.
portion?
The petitioner's presentation was given with the reading of the answers to his questions and by having you all have what he submitted in writing to the packet. in the packet.
This is the first time I've.
Yes,
done
no,
this
I
one.
understand, it's very odd, but this is how he requested it as his accommodation, and so that's what we're doing.
All right, so we'll open this up to the public. Is there anybody who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none, any on Zoom?
Yes. Can you hear me all right?
We can. Name and address, and you got 3 minutes, please.
Nicholas Gendron, 20113 Ritter Avenue. I'm the property behind his house. So I gotta be very choosy about what I'm saying because he's suing my wife. So he has actually a bunch of litigations against him, or not against him, but he's like suing me and the neighbor where you see that truck over there. And he has this whole thing about ADA, whatever. He claims that he has throat cancer, so he has to go into court to do a voice to text thing, whole deal or whatever. But like this fence, while I'm not complaining about where the location is at all, like between my property and his, I didn't realize that he was going to be putting up an 8-foot fence. But like he sells dogs out the back of his property, and I believe my personal opinion is he will add more dog kennels there. But like he definitely is very much aware of everything that's going on because anytime anything was filed or emailed to him, he instantly replies. Like he dodges stuff all the time. So like there's a lot to his story that his handwritten, hand typed message isn't saying, and he will sue anyone and anything. The reason why he's suing my wife started because he suspected a tree was falling. A branch from his own tree fell, damaged his own fence. He demanded access to my property and did that via letter because he claimed he couldn't talk, and said if we weren't comfortable with him coming on our property to call the police. We called the police, they escorted him, then he sued my wife for defamation. So I'm just throwing all this craziness out there because stuff. Uh, sorry, thank you for listening to me complain.
Appreciate it.
So I think that one should probably be classified as against the appeal. It was not in favor of the appeal, it was essentially in favor of the citation, if I understood that correctly, which would be
Yeah.
against the appeal, yes. Okay.
Yeah, he should have his fence that far forward. Thank you, sorry.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak in favor of this petition on Zoom? Seeing none. Is there anybody that would like to speak against this petition? Please step forward. Seeing none. Any on Zoom?
Carl.
Is that Carl?
No.
All right, public portion is now closed. Yeah, you guys got anything else?
No.
Ready for
How do
motion?
you, what are the three options we have? I'm sorry again?
You can affirm the decision of the zoning office, which would be upholding the citation.
Okay.
You can reverse it, which would be saying, nope, it was wrong and you shouldn't have done it. Or you can modify it in some fashion, which is unspecified, but I would imagine would probably involve changing the fine issued or something to that effect if you were going to go that route.
Okay, so question.
Restate
How
that.
many times can we end up back in this situation?
Well,
Hopefully, I'm not opening a can of worms, but if we affirm this, is this something where he gets another citation
I can't say that won't happen.
and then appeals it, and then we have to hear this again, and then it's a continuous thing?
I cannot tell you that that will not happen.
I will say, and I,
Cost money for him.
yeah, and I will say, I have not been the enforcement official on this particular case, so I apologize if I don't have. But if the fence is not brought into compliance, even if you affirm it, it would still be a zoning violation that we could enforce against and cite again, right? Or-
So, yeah, if for some reason that they found there was something wrong with this citation, like it wasn't served properly, or, you shouldn't have sent it when he was out of the country, or whatever reason that he said that you should overturn it for, that would not affect the existing violation, and it would just require us to start over with the note from the noticing and start over.
Okay.
As far as can he continue to appeal citations as they are issued, technically yes, but he would have to meet the requirements for an appeal, which involves submitting some paperwork, and it also involves, I believe, $300.
Like a filing fee?
Yes.
So he's doing that each time? And we're collecting
So,
that?
He paid it this time. We had a few misses where he tried to appeal previous citations that he did not successfully submit everything he needed to. And so those were not the subject of this appeal because he did not appeal them properly. This one, he did actually submit the money for.
So as long as he's going to continue to pay $300, we
You
can
could
continue
hear-
to do this every month?
It's,
No.
I would say,
That's fine.
not outside the realm of possibility.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, although I'm incredibly disappointed that this citation E has been wasting the county's time and that all this has transpired, I propose that we uphold the citation.
Was that a motion?
I move that we uphold the citation.
I would second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Ritzma?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Velman?
Yes.
Dr. Lauk?
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier?
Yes, that was Lance and Joe, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So, based on the testimony presented here today, after careful consideration, the Area Board of Zoning Appeals upholds the
The
citation and will issue written findings of the facts?
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes. And I would suggest that you do a draft of an after meeting letter and send it to me, and I'll add whatever needs to add.
All right, we got findings of facts for August 13th of 2025.
Donnie Ritzma, I make a motion to approve the findings of the facts.
Dr. Lauk, second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 7-0.
I like it when you do it much better.
I can do it.
I don't have, it says minutes, I don't have any minutes.
Are they not in there?
No, there's no minutes there.
There are no minutes.
Oh, yeah,
It's empty. It just says minutes, but there's no minutes listed.
Yeah, I know, that's why, it's just,
Sorry, we don't have minutes next month. Hopefully, we'll have a couple sets next month.
all right. You got anything, Fariel? Randy? All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. Hold for comment, please.